I'm coming in.
Welcome back, everyone. Walk with me as we're about to start session number 6 at the Win. More deep stack 2-5 no limit. One of the most ridiculous suckouts of my career happens. You're going to want to stick around to the end. Hope you all had a great holiday. Let's get started. We buy in for 1,000 and just a few orbits in, we pick up 2 kings. We're only 6-handed in a must-move game. I'm under the gun and I open for 15. The button and big blind both call, and flop comes queen 10-7 rainbow. Big blind leads right out for $15 and he has a starting stack of 200. He just sat down. I put in a raise to 50. The button folds and it's back to the initial bettor who re-raises to 115. I think I'm probably beat here, but I'm just never folding kings after I put 50 in for 150 more. He may have ace queen or queen jack just going with it, so I just flat. Turn is a 4 of clubs. He goes all in for his remaining 100 and I call. River is an ace and he flips over queen 10 for 2 pair and the winner. Not a great start, but bright side is it was only a few hundred. The game fills up pretty quick now, and next we have jack 7 of clubs in the big blind. We have a middle position raise to 20. The cutoff and button both call. For 15 more I'm jumping in. 4 players to a flop of king 8-8 with 2 clubs. I check to the aggressor. He checks and the other players check behind. Turn is a 3 of hearts. Nobody looked very interested on the flop, so I'll take a stab at this pot. I bet 35. The pre-flop raiser is now interested and makes the call. The other players fold. Now I'm a little concerned he checks a monster on the flop like kings full, or he might just have a small pocket pair. We get some help on the river with a jack. So this is a similar situation I had last session. I've been toying with the idea of setting my price instead of check calling. I might get some value from worse hands like pocket 6s or 7s, or I might get raised again like last time. I bet 60. He goes into the tank for a while, about 30 seconds, and decides on a raise to 225. So this time, I don't make the hero call for information. I learned my lesson from last session. I feel he may have checked an 8 or kings full on the flop, looking to set the trap on the opponents in late position. I make the fold here, and he was nice enough to show 1 card for the vlog, which was an 8 for trips. We get moved to the main game now, and we're in for 1,400, stuck about 350. About an hour of cold cards goes by before I pick up king 10 offsuit from the cutoff. A few players limp early, and I raise to 25. The button, who I've played with many times, makes the call. He used to be somewhat crazy, but now seems super tight. The other players fold, and we go heads up to a flop of jack 8-5 rainbow. Pretty dry flop here. I bet 40. Just looking to take it down right now, but it doesn't get through. He calls. Turn is a queen of hearts. Now we pick up an open-ended straight draw. I debate a bet right here, but I do decide against it because the flop was so dry he may have just flatted me with a really strong hand. Also hands like queen jack and 9-10 get there. So I check now, hoping to see a cheap river card, but he's not having that. He bets 70. That seems like a fair price with the nut straight draw and an overcard, so I call. River is the ace of hearts. We nail Broadway, but backdoor hearts get there. I'm not too concerned about the flush though. I also have the king of hearts, so even if he has a hand like jack 10 of hearts, he'll likely just call a large bet. So I'm going for big value against sets and 2-pair holdings. I fire out 200. He doesn't think long before making the call. I show the straight and we finally pick up a pot today, and it gets us close to even. He didn't show, but he did say he had a set. Oh wow. Next we pick up 2 kings under the gun again. Let's win this time. I open for 20. I only get 2 callers from the cutoff and the big blind. We go 3 ways to a flop of 7-8-9 with 2 hearts. Pretty nasty flop. It's all over the range of late position and big blind hands. Big blind checks to me. I want to keep the pot small and get to showdown here, as there's not many runouts that are great for my hand. So I check. The cutoff, however, does not. He bets 55. The big blind folds. I'm not folding to a single bet here, so I just flat, hoping to get some blanks on the turn. However, the turn is not a blank at all. It's a king. We turn top set, just like last session. He put out a pot-sized bet on the flop here, so I kind of want to check to him and see what he does. He checks almost simultaneously, so now we know we're good, but we need to dodge some straight cards on the river. It's a blank deuce. I bet out 100, and he folds immediately. In hindsight, I think it might be a mistake checking that turn. It's unlikely he flopped a straight with that pot-sized bet on the flop, so I should be charging him if he does have some sort of straight or flush draw and not give him that free river card. I need to remember that next time. The very next hand, I'm in the big blind now and pick up pocket tens. New player just sat with 1500 from +1 and he raises to 20. Hijack calls, I call, and we go three ways to a flop of 6, 7 deuce rainbow. I check, Razor makes a pot-sized bet of 60, the hijack folds and it's back to me. I hate just calling here as I may have to face a huge bet on the turn that could easily be a scare card. I want to find out right now where I'm at. With 6-7 suited and sets, I'm likely sticking in a raise here as well, so I make it 180. He thinks for about 10 seconds and does make the laydown. Next, I pick up king-queen offsuit from under the gun. Straddle is on for 10 and we're only 7-handed. Normally I probably fold this hand, but I open for 25 since we're short. Player on my left calls and the straddler calls. We had three ways to a flop of jack 10-7 with 2 spades. With 2 overs and nut straight draw here, I continue betting for 45. Both players end up calling. I'm a little more concerned about the player in the middle at this point than the straddler. I think if the straddle has a big hand like 2 pair or a straight, he's putting in a raise. Turn is a 5 of hearts. I decide to slow down here since both players called on the flop, hoping to get a cheap river card. I check, the player on my left checks, straddler bets 135. It's back to me now, not sure exactly what he has. It could be some sort of funky 2 pair, maybe just top pair of jacks. I tank for a bit debating a raise here, as I'm not as concerned with the player in the middle anymore since he checked the turn after me. I decide to just call, and now that does bring in the player from my left, so he likely has a flush draw. So we have a sizable pot brewing here and we need some help. We don't get it though. River is a blank, 4 of clubs. I wave the white flag now and check, and it checks all the way through. I show king queen. Nobody really wants to show their hand. Player on my left shows the ace of spades, and straddler finally shows jack 6 for the winner. I probably could have taken it down with a check raise on the turn. That line wouldn't have really made sense though, and he might have picked up on that. About another hour and a half goes by with not much going on. The game isn't great. I don't have many hands for the vlog. I pick up jack 7 of diamonds here in the cutoff and decide I'm raising if it's folded to me, or I'm 3-betting any raise no matter what. When games are super nitty, you either need to table change or start creating some action. A middle position player raises to 20. I 3-bet to 65. It folds back to the original raiser who makes the call. He has about 900 to start the hand and I have about 1,000. We go heads up to a flop of 10-8-8 rainbow with 1 diamond. He checks to me. With a gutter ball and backdoor diamonds, I continue with a bet of 70, just hoping to take it down right here. It doesn't happen though. He sticks in a check raise to 165. So kind of a curious spot to be putting in a check raise here. I'm thinking of his possible starting hands to raise to 20 with and just call my 3-bet. Maybe 8-9 suited, 7-8 suited. Pocket queens are better. Or he may just have a hand like ace-10 looking to take it down. So for only 95 more, I'm going to see one more card. Turn is a jack of clubs. He checks to me again now. And you all know what's worse than getting check raised once? Being check raised twice. I'm not falling for it. Hoping to get to showdown here. Maybe a jack's good, maybe it's not. So I just check, looking to get to showdown. And oh boy, river card is another jack. Ridiculous and unexpected run out. If he has something here, my hand is completely concealed. He goes into the tank and he starts reaching for chips. He ends up firing out a bet of 235. It looks like he's got about 500 left, and I go into the tank wondering if I can get all of it. I think if he has an 8, it'll be so hard to fold here given the way this hand is played out. I finally announce all in, and he calls after about 5 seconds. I show him the bad news, and he shows pocket 10s. Wow. He had me dead to running jacks and can't believe it, and neither can I, honestly. He played it so well, I'd never put him on nut full house after he check raises me on the flop. If he bets anywhere around 200 on the turn, I just fold. So just a miracle situation the way it was played and the run out. And just a complete random hand I decided to 3-bet with pre-flop to get some action going.
788. That was ridiculous.
Next we pick up pocket 5s under the gun. I open for 15. New player to my left re-raises to 65. It's folded back to me. He has 15 in front, so I'm looking to see a flop here. Given his 3-bet size, it doesn't really seem like he wants a call, and that usually means a hand like jacks, queens, or ace-king, hands that aren't as easy to play post-flop. I call, and we get a pretty good flop of 6-4 deuce with 2 clubs. I flop the gutter ball and backdoor flush draw. I checked and expect him to continue with any hand, and he does. He bets 70. This is about as good as a flop I can hope for without hitting a set, so I call here, looking for the gut shot, or maybe there's a slight chance that 5s are good. The turn is a 9 of hearts. I check, and he quickly checks back. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm good here, as he may be checking back for pot control with an overpair. River is another brick, 10 of spades. I check. He checks back and flips over queens first for the winner. I play one more orbit with nothing eventful going on. I'm up $327 after 6.5 hours, and that Jack-7 miracle suck out. Let's call it a night and book our 6th consecutive win. Okay everyone, thanks for watching session number 6 from the win. Pretty straightforward session overall today, pretty boring until that Jack-7 suited, which was ridiculous. All the stars had to align perfectly for that to happen. Number 1, randomly decided to 3-bet right there to create some action. Number 2, he flops 10s full, and the way it was played and checked on the turn, just a crazy run out. 0.5% chance. Let me correct myself, 0.4% chance because he had the 10 of diamonds for a blocker. To run out Jack-Jack right there and actually win that hand. So I think that's the worst beat I've ever put on somebody. He took it like a professional. We all take those beats sometimes, and luckily I was on this side of it today. So let's keep that going. As always, I appreciate you guys liking and subscribing. If you'd like to check out the last video, click over here. If you want to subscribe, please click here. And see you next Sunday for vlog number 7. Hope you all had a great holiday, and good luck on the tables.